Yo, it's your boy Smoke Bath Madden video. In today's video, we're going to be doing a simulation of Deebo Samuel on the Washington Commanders team. The Commanders kind of shocked everybody last year, making an appearance all the way to the NFC Championship game. Don't think many people predicted that before the season started, but Jaden Daniels proved he was the real deal. And they went out and they didn't sign. They traded for Deebo Samuel. And they traded only a fifth-round pick, and I think that's an absolute steal. A lot of people are saying Deebo's washed and the 49ers were just doing it to clear cap space. And even if they were doing it for cap space, I think they could have got more than a fifth-round pick. So I absolutely love this trade from the Commanders. You have a lot of cap space, and now you're getting another good receiver alongside Terry McLaurin. Is Deebo Samuel as dominant as he once was? I mean, I don't really think so, but he's still a great receiver. Anyway, in the Madden simulation, the first game, the Washington Commanders, they lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Baker Mayfield threw two passing touchdowns, while Jaden Daniels had one passing touchdown and two interceptions, both sacked one time. Austin Eckler with 54 yards, no touchdown. And Rachaad White, 39 yards, no touchdown. Jaden Daniels, 6 attempts for 22 yards. Baker Mayfield even ran a little bit, 4 attempts for 14 yards. Chris Godwin, 117 yards off of 8 receptions. Deebo Samuel tied with the most receptions in the game with 8, 108 yards, and 1 receiving touchdown. Cade Otton, 4 receptions, 46 yards. Terry McLaurin, 2 receptions, 21 yards. Leading in tackles is Bobby Wagner and Levante David. Clinton Farrell for tackles for loss and sacks with Jonathan Allen. Interceptions, Levante David and Jamal Dean. So this is the midseason point of the first year with Deebo Samuel. And the Commanders are actually not doing good at all. I mean, they're an 82 overall team, which I thought they'd be higher. But they're 2-5, so they really need to start improving here. Let's check everybody's stats to see who the blame is to go on. And it might be from Jaden Daniels. He apparently is having a really bad sophomore slump according to Madden's eyes, because, he just won Rookie of the Year, but it's midway through the season. Nearly has 4 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and it looks like he didn't play a whole lot. I mean, he might have missed a game or two. Said he played every game, but I think he got benched because of how bad he was doing, because he has 7 games played, and there's been 7 games so far, but yeah, I think he's got benched. Austin Eckler with 150 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. Brian Robinson, 146 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Jaden Daniels with 144 yards and 1 rushing touchdown. Jeremy McNichols, 57 yards. Deebo Samuel is leading the team with receptions and receiving yards, with 32 receptions, 379 receiving yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns for Deebo Samuel. Terry McLaurin with 21 receptions, 240 yards. No receiving touchdowns for Terry McLaurin, which is a little bit worrisome, I'm not going to lie. Noah Brown's got a receiving touchdown, and so does Zach Ertz. Bobby Wagner leading with tackles with a commanding lead. He's got almost double as much as Derek Forrest has. And then got Clinton Farrell with 7 tackles for loss, and Jermaine Davis is up there as well. Sacks is Jonathan Allen with 4, then Frank Luvie. Frank Luvie was the guy who kept jumping off sides in that Eagles NFC championship game, so that was pretty good. Oh, that's pretty funny. Jeremy Chin, 3 interceptions, and the Commanders, they only finished 7-10, so very, very bad season, and definitely not as good as it once was. All right, let's go ahead and see the stats. Yeah, this is rough. Jaden Daniels, 2,784 yards passing, then 15 passing touchdowns and 9 interceptions, a 62 completion percentage, 62 completion percentage. I mean, that's not horrible, but I don't know. Yeah, that wasn't a good year for Jaden Daniels whatsoever. And then Austin Eckler with 630 yards, 6 rushing touchdowns, no fumbles. Hey, Jaden Daniels had no fumbles, and he did have 516 rushing yards, but still. Deebo Samuel, 67 receptions, 873 yards, and 7 receiving touchdowns. So Deebo Samuel was actually the best receiver on our team, shockingly. I thought Terry McLaurin would be. But, I mean, apparently Terry McLaurin wasn't even the second best. Noah Brown was second with 661 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. Bobby Wagner leading with tackles with 115, then Jermaine Davis, then Derek Forrest. And then tackles for loss, Jonathan Allen, Clinton Farrell. And then sacks is going to be Jonathan Allen, Frank Luvie. And then interceptions, Jeremy Chin, and then Derek Forrest, and then Emmanuel Forbes Jr. So if you guys are interested who won the Super Bowl this year, it was actually the 49ers, the team that Deebo Samuel is just coming out of from. So he left the Bay. He left San Francisco, and they somehow go ahead and win a Super Bowl without him. Now, they still have a great team without him. Obviously, I'm not saying they don't, but it's a little odd that after losing one of their better receivers that they went ahead and won the Super Bowl. But that's what Madden is predicting in this simulation, I guess. But a commanding lead, might I add, 42-28 against the Baltimore Ravens. Super Bowl MVP was Brock Purdy. The NFL regular season MVP was Patrick Mahomes. And then we're going to go ahead and do another year for you guys since that was short. But in the 2025 season, the Washington Commanders finished 7-10 again. So they weren't even able to make a playoff appearance in the 2 years. And Jaden Daniels did a lot better this year, but actually, yeah, he did do a lot better this year. Yes, he did a lot better because that was a rough sophomore season from Jaden Daniels. Anyway, 3,421 passing yards, 25 passing touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. Brian Robinson with 836 yards and 6 rushing touchdowns, no fumbles. Jaden Daniels, 566 rushing yards, 9 rushing touchdowns, and he did have a fumble. Austin Eckler, 209 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns, but he did have a fumble as well. Deebo Samuel even ran the ball a little bit, getting 35 rushing yards. Now, in the receiving game, what Deebo Samuel is more known for, 60 receptions with 770 yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. It seems the Commanders have signed Rashid Shaheed in the offseason, and he had 78 receptions with 666 yards, 7 receiving touchdowns, and then Noah Brown, 7 receiving touchdowns with 661 yards. Again, Terry McLaurin does bad. I don't even know. I guess Madden just really doesn't like Terry McLaurin because he only had 449 yards with 1 touchdown. Bobby Wagner leading again in tackles than Jeremy Chin. Daron Payne, Frank Louvie, and Dorrance Armstrong are up there for tackles for loss. And the sacks ticket to be Daron Payne, and then Dorrance Armstrong, then Jonathan Allen, Dante Flower, and Frank Louvie. So now we're going to go and check the Super Bowl winner for this year, and it's actually the Indianapolis Colts. I don't think anyone thinks that's going to happen, that the Colts are going to be Super Bowl winners in 2 years. But hey, I mean, if you're a Colts fan, I guess there's a will, there's a way. But anyway, Anthony Richardson, maybe he could turn it around. Who knows? But we haven't seen, not that he's bad, but we haven't seen anything commanding from him. But speaking of the Indianapolis Colts, I actually just did a rebuild on the Indianapolis Colts. If you guys are interested in that video, make sure to go ahead and check the link down below in the description. The regular season NFL MVP was Patrick Mahomes. Offensive Player of the Year was Brandon Ayuk. Defensive Player of the Year was DeMarcus Lawrence. All right, guys, that's around another video. Make sure you go and leave a like and subscribe. If you guys enjoy the NFL, football, and Madden 25 content, I highly recommend you guys subscribe and check out our other videos. Make sure to turn those post notifications on so you get notified every single post. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.